So go away. God, I always hit the wrong button. Last day of April. Let's do this, guys. What's happening? Welcome to Film Junkie Live on your Wednesday, Hump Day, April 30th. That's right. Yep, don't turn that. Crap. See, I'm already messing up. I'm having technical difficulties yet again, guys. I know, shocker, right? But this time I was having weird things happening right now. I'll explain in a little bit here. But anyways, welcome to Film Junkie Live, guys. It is Hump Day. Let's get the hump and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that like, thumbs up, of course. Share the stream. Do whatever. Tell a friend, whatever. And then, of course, if you want to support the channel, to become a member. We do a members-only stream after every Wednesday stream. So look forward to that. Yeah, pick my brain a little bit. Talk to me a little bit more intimately. And then, of course, you have the Patreon as well. You can do all that. So hopefully you guys are doing good. And look at that, guys. Look at that. Huh? New glasses. The new glasses came in. Finally. Didn't take 2 weeks like they said it could take up to 2 weeks. But thankfully, got them today. They fit well. It's all looking good. We're all better now, man. Remember last week? I had broken glasses and really shaggy hair. Now I'm looking sharp. Anyways, all right, guys. Who's out there? Talk to me. We got Monique right here. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Bacon cheeseburger salad's on the menu tonight. A bacon cheeseburger salad. That sounds amazing. Can I have some, please? Can I please? It's a lot of your plays. What's going on, everyone? How's it going? Let's see. I hope everyone had a great Wednesday evening. Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope everybody is. Like I said, having some weird things happening with this house that I'm in. I'm telling you. We got Eric right here. One thing I learned about plot leaks. Yeah, like again, we don't want to talk about the plot leaks and things like that. Out of context stuff. I mean, yeah, it's hard to avoid. I get it. And I know D-Man, you said something. Yes, I know. There's like the certain little story point that might be floating around out there that, of course, a lot of people are going, what the hell, what the hell, what the hell? And I'm just kind of going, here we go already. We still got what? We still got two months and a week or something. We still got so much time. So much time. I'm like, good Lord. Oi. We got Shano. What's happening? Hey, everyone. Last day of April tomorrow. Is it tomorrow that's the last day of April? No, it's today, right? It's going to be, it's going to be May. Yeah, I know what you're doing. You're doing the meme. That's what you're doing, yeah. Music Man, what's happening? What's going on, Eric Patterson? How's your week going so far? Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Like I said, people are just, it's just things, not people. Technology is just going, like running rampant right now. What's going on? Hola, we got Mr. Lane here. Of course, you created the opening song. Thank you, sir. Jalen, what's happening? Let's get the humping. We got Jay right here. Good to see you. Hoy, hoy. Mr. Jason McKenzie, always great to see you. Of course, it's Wine Wednesday. Cheers to you and cheers to everybody. Good times, good times. Yeah. Yep, the Punisher T. Yeah, another drama-free Wednesday, right? When it comes to the community. Eric Patterson, of course. Oh, man, but yeah. Today, so let me just, I don't know what was happening right beforehand, but the smoke detectors in this house, they're possessed. They are freaking possessed. I don't know what's happening when it comes to this. I don't know. Like there's been times where the smoke detectors just randomly go off. Just like, it might just be like one or two beeps. Just go off. So right before I was starting to stream, 3 of the smoke detectors were just going beep, beep, beep around the house. I have no idea why. Nothing. There's no smoke. There's no nothing. There's no anything. I don't know what the hell is happening. So I'm going, great. I'm about to stream and I got these smoke detectors just randomly going off. So you might hear something. You might not. I don't know. The one in this room is not going off. So at least there's that. The one in my room's going off. The one in the hallway was going off. And one downstairs is going off. And one in my brother's room is going off. This house might be possessed. I don't know. Like I said, I told you guys, we found a Bible. There's a Bible chilling up in the rafters of the garage. So maybe it's something to do with that. Who knows? Who knows? Boy. But yeah, so there we go. Hey, we got somebody here. I don't think I've seen you really in the chat, maybe. Ash Kruger Myers, I like your name. Boom, bam, what a Duder, love your content. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Always appreciate that. We got the watcher right here, too. What up? People blowing this stupid monkey thing out of proportion. Yeah, we got that whole thing. And again, what do I just say? You know, let's just watch the movie. You know, let's not take things out of context. Context is always key. And I'm willing to bet that whole little plot leak has some context. That's for damn sure. So anyway, so yeah, that was happening, which was great. I was like going, you got to be kidding me. But other than that, today was a good day. Had a good day with work. Like I said, got my new spectacles, got my new eyeballs. See, they're nice and tight on my face. Nice and tight on my face. It's a different type of shape, but, you know, for the most part, still looks like the normal glasses that I've usually rocking. But it's just nice to actually finally have, you know, like I could just, I can move around. These things don't move. So you're not going to see me doing this a lot. I mean, they'll still kind of slip down a little bit, but, you know, so happy about that. And then yesterday, had a little family thing, family and friends, and my nephew graduated college. Crazy to think about that. I have a nephew that now is a college graduate. So he had his little graduation yesterday. So I worked a half day at work, and then of course we went out to that, had, you know, obviously family, friends, and we went out to dinner afterwards. So that was a lot of fun. And yeah, so my nephew Jaden, he is now a college graduate. Just freaking crazy to think about. Because, I mean, geez, it's like, wait, you were like this big, and now what the hell? I tell you what. So cheers to him. He worked hard, and now, you know, we'll see what happens when it comes to all that. So a pretty decent couple of days. Hopefully you guys had a pretty good days too. Hopefully. And let's see. All right, let's get started here. Let's go jump into this. It's been pretty slow this week. I mean, there's things to talk about, but there's been some things where I'm like, okay, you know, nothing too crazy. And obviously yesterday when I was hanging out with the family and doing the graduation thing, that, you know, I wasn't on Twitter, so I wasn't like looking at things and retweeting things. So, you know, looking at the tweets, they're going to be pretty short. They're going to be pretty short today. And of course, we're just going to start off with how crazy Tom Cruise is, because why not? Let's just talk, you know, let's just do that. We're 2 weeks away, and Tom Cruise, he posts this video right here of himself just acting like a crazy person, as we love him as a crazy person. So again, they just keep on going. Yeah, you're going to see Tom Cruise do this scene. I mean, how freaked out do you... He's got to be freaked out a little bit.
I just can't hold it.
Jesus Christ. It's like anytime we see one of those behind the scenes featurette videos or something like that when it comes to Tom Cruise, all I know is my butthole fucking puckers. I just go, Jesus, okay, I'm going to watch this. And I clench. And I just go, okay, Tommy Cruise, you do your thing. That's what he does. That's what he does best. So, good Lord. Oh, no, Monique. And good to see you, Monique, of course. No, I know there's rumors that Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas might be dating. I don't know. They were like talking about certain stuff like that. I don't know if that's all true. I think they're going to be working together. I don't know, but they've been seen together. So, of course, speculation is happening, but who knows? Hey, something happens. But let's go down memory lane. And we got this Twitter account that posts old things, and it's called Memory Unlocked. And I came across this little post right here. Now, I should probably follow these guys, but then again, I'm like, do I want to follow these guys? I don't know. It was on my For You page, but they posted this image right here, and I went, oh, yeah, I had this. I definitely had this little vehicle collector set for Batman Returns. That's right. Look at that. So you got the Batmobile, you got the Penguin Mobile, you got the, middle part of the Batmobile that shoots out, when he was going through the little tight spot, looks like a missile. And then, of course, you got the little ski boat car as well, vehicle. But I had this set right here, so when I saw it, I went, oh, man. I remember having all three of those because I lost the Penguin Mobile. I only had the three. I only played with the three because I don't know what happened, but I lost the Penguin Mobile, little ducky mobile. I don't know if like a friend took it or I left it at a friend's house. I don't know. But I remember not really playing with that one because I was going, I lost it. And I love how on the packaging it says die-cast metal. That's right. When I was a kid, when we were young bucks, the toys that we handled, they were sharp, they were metal. You threw them at somebody, oh, somebody's going to get hurt. We play with toys that hurt, man. Tell you. Got all the toys. Yeah, the duck is cute though, right? But I remember losing it. I think I left it at my cousin's house. I don't know. Who knows? And then keep it on the whole Batman train right here. We got our, well, I guess you could say when it comes to cinematic, she was the only cinematic Batgirl. We almost had another cinematic Batgirl, but sadly that didn't happen. But we got Alicia Silverstone right here posting this. Hey, I know her. And apparently they sent her some kind of Batgirl figurine right here. There's the box, and there is Batgirl with an actual bat cowl, not just a mask over her eyes. Because you have to remember that in the movie, she does wear an actual cowl, but it acts more like a helmet when she's on her bat cycle or whatever, but that's pretty cool. So, there you go. She's just representing, you know? They sent her that. They're like, hey, this is you. You want it? And then, of course, you have to post it. Oh, man. So, and then, of course, we're going to be talking about Thunderbolts. Oh, God. Okay. I gotta take a little drink with this one, guys. I gotta take a drink with this one. Oof. This one upsets me, and it kind of chaps my ass a little bit too. It's just like, what in the F, man? We've talked about this before, though, because, oh man, the Oscars and the voters, the people who are in charge of watching the movies and voting on what's going to win when it comes to the Oscars. We're finding out a lot of information recently. I don't know why, that all of a sudden we're getting like this information dump that a lot of these people who are supposed to be watching these movies don't actually want to watch these movies. We already heard that they didn't watch all of them, and then the Academy is now requiring them to watch them all. And I'm like, why the fuck was that not? Why was that not the rules before? You have to watch it all. But now we got this little information right here, and this one was like, okay, just get rid of all of them. Just restart. I don't know what we have to do, but my God. Some Oscar voters have said that they just press play on their screeners app to satisfy the viewing requirements and then mute the audio or switch tabs. The app only needs to see that you watched it. It doesn't know if you're sitting there. So they have the privilege to watch movies and vote on these movies. But they don't take it that seriously because we live in an age where we're constantly distracted by all kinds of shit. And they don't want to sit through The Brutalist. They don't want to sit through the Dune Part 2 because it's too long. So, but they, let's just hit play and then let me skip over to, Pornhub or whatever the hell. I don't know what they're watching, but my God. You see that, and that just, I hate that. That just makes me upset. Hire me, I will watch all the movies, and I will vote. I will do that. Just give me, I don't know what it requires. I don't know, I got to get like some kind of license. I don't know. But get me in there, my God. That's just, This is why the Oscars are just like, they've been going in the tank right there. Ugh. And then it kind of makes you wonder, like, okay, what are we doing here? I don't know. I've talked about this before, and I'm going to talk about it again, because why the F not? And because it has to do with Christopher Nolan and Zack Snyder. And Christopher Nolan art and updates. I don't know, they posted this again, and it's just always one of those things, because there's actually something to the quote that I don't think I've seen before when it comes to Christopher Nolan talking about Zack Snyder. And I know the Zack Snyder haters absolutely hate it when somebody talks glowingly about Zack Snyder, specifically people like Christopher Nolan or James Cameron or Ridley Scott, when they speak glowingly about Zack Snyder. Oh yeah, they hate that. They hate that, and I love that they hate that, because fuck them. But this quote right here, because I've always said this, but Christopher Nolan, he's talked about this before, and I think I've talked about it too. Christopher Nolan says, his favorite Zack Snyder scene in Man of Steel is Kevin Costner's conversation with young Clark about his origins, which of course is a very awesome scene. But then I love what he has to say right here when it comes to the quote. Zack is known for his facility with iconic image making, but his casting instincts second to none. Casting instincts are second to none. Now, some people might push back on that because what did I talk about on Monday? That the fact that over the weekend there was like some people that were talking about one of the worst castings in a CBM was Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor, and I could see why people thought that. Me, I didn't think that. But okay, so anybody who's like didn't really like that, but can we at least agree that he does have an eye for casting? And he, let's face it, I mean, when it came to Gal Gadot, when it came to Jason Momoa, or when it came to some of those guys, that they were, they became names after all of a sudden they get cast in these roles. And I know some people don't like Gal Gadot now for some reason. I think I could think of the reason, of course. But, the fact of the matter is they don't really like her all that much. But I think Zack has always had a pretty good eye for casting. I mean, Ray Fisher did an excellent job in Justice League. And he was the heart of the story. And there was moments where even I was like going, God damn, this kid has it. And, the fact that Zack Snyder was like, he saw that, I was like, yeah, pretty good stuff. Anyways, okay, skip that. This is pretty cool right here. So somebody, of course, on good old Reddit decided to make an updated Mission Impossible poster that is in the vein of the original movie. And I thought this was pretty cool because I love that original movie. Like I've always said, the first Mission Impossible movie is still my favorite movie. I mean, arguably Fallout might be the best. Like just when it comes to story and structure and all the stuff, sure. But my favorite one's always like the first one. But yeah, somebody took it upon themselves to like kind of make like a, hey, there's the start, there's the finish in a similar vein. I just thought that was pretty cool. One of those little things where you go, oh, you get a little nostalgic, just a little nostalgic, nothing too crazy. And if you want to really get nostalgic, and again, I've said this before too. Oh my God. I said this before, and I'll say it again. Is the fact that I still like, I've even had conversations with my mom. I'm going, I'm surprised you actually let us eat the breakfast foods that we ate. Donuts, Pop-Tarts, full-on pancakes with syrup all over them, chocolate chip pancakes, stuff like that. And then, of course, when it comes to cereal, I mean, I'm surprised that, there's a reason why. There's health issues in this country and all around anyways, I remember eating this specific cereal right here. And yes, back in 1989, it was cool, like the caption says. Who remembers the Batman 89 cereal? That's right. It tasted like Captain Crunch without the berries. That's all it was. It was a bunch of mini bats, and whatever the cereal was kind of had like a Captain Crunch Corn Pops kind of taste to them. But I don't know if anybody remembers this who was a child of that long ago. I don't know. Yeah, it's just, it had like a Captain Crunchy. I mean, if you bit just wrong and you scratched your gum, these, again, going back, I mean, the 80s and 90s, there was no bubble wrap anywhere. It was trial and error, man. You take a bite out of one of those and you hit it just right, you're going to scratch your gum and all of a sudden your mouth's bleeding because of how sharp that stuff was. But I ate the shit out of that cereal because it's a Batman cereal. Bunch of little mini bats. Frill. But it's just crazy how good to see you there. Good to see you also in the chat there, Del. Always great to see you, bud. And you're right about, Gal Gadot. I get what you're saying about that, but anyways, I know she's had a struggle since Wonder Woman. That's for damn sure. Roadhouse. Now we got Roadhouse 2 coming out. Obviously, the first one was a huge hit when it came to Amazon. Didn't get released in the movie theaters, and there was a whole big thing about that. Doug Liman, of course, who directed the first Roadhouse, of course, starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor, who's the bad guy. There was a whole big stink about that. We talked about that. And as for remakes, when it comes to remakes, the Roadhouse remake, it was actually, I liked it. I actually really enjoyed the Roadhouse remake with Jake Gilly right there. Because obviously the Patrick Swayze one, classic. But of course it's cheesy 80s stuff, fun stuff. But hey, we got a director for the second one because Doug Liman ain't coming back. That's right, we got Guy Ritchie. We got Guy Ritchie directing the new Roadhouse movie, the sequel to the Roadhouse movie. And I'm like, okay, cool. Guy Ritchie, you say Guy Ritchie, I'm there. Okay? Even if you say Guy, I'm there. Okay, that sounded weird. Okay, but you say Guy Ritchie, I'm there. Forget what I said previously. Guy Ritchie, I'm there. So, I mean, he's going to put his... I'm just kind of curious what exactly that is going to be. What's the story going to be, I don't know. We'll see. But you give me some more Guy Ritchie, then hell yeah. Conor McGregor was just a fucking... He was such a Looney Tune. He was such a Looney Tune in that first one. I mean, the opening scene, he's literally crawling out of like some room or whatever. He's walking down the street butt-ass naked. Acting like a crazy person. He's all roided out. Hey, we got Scott McClellan right here. You guys know who Scott McClellan is, my co-host for DC Fanimated, which of course we're not watching. We're not going to be having DC Fanimated tonight because Scott his work schedule got messed up a little bit this week, so we're not going to be doing DC Fanimated. He also wanted to let it be known that because at the end of the DC Fanimated last week, he said that we watched a Batman Beyond episode, and he thought the next episode we were going to watch, we're going to do another Superman the Animated Series. We're actually going to be doing the next Batman Beyond. He just read his sheet because Scott has the whole sheet of all the DC Animated episodes that we have to watch in order, and he misread. And he thought we were going to watch a Superman the Animated Series. Turns out we're actually going to be watching Batman Beyond. So anybody who's been tuning into any of that, there you go. But Scott's been, if you guys want to get a little introduction to Keanu Reeves' BZRKER, check out Scott's new video. He's posted it all over the place. He just basically gave a rundown because obviously he's all about comic books, new comic books.
Hello, everyone.
So,
and welcome to Have You Gone Berserker?
It's got the music going and everything.
To Keanu Reeves' passion project.
So he kind of gives like a little rundown, a little backstory.
He works
just like a little backstory on the whole character and everything. So go check it out. If you have no idea what exactly Keanu Reeves' little BZRKER story is about, by all means, go check that out. You know how Scott is. I mean, that's our dynamic when it comes to DC Fanimated. Is he's like the information guy. I'm just the animated host that cracks stupid jokes and everything. So go check that out. Go check that out. Like I said, it's a work in progress. We were talking about, I said, yeah, you might want to adjust the levels on your audio with some of the music. Kind of like, it's kind of loud. You could probably hear that right there. He knows that. He was just trying to work with something. Again, Scott is just trying to get into creator mode right there. And I say support him. Give him a like. Give him a shout out. And then we got Gillian Anderson talking about Ryan Coogler's X-Files reboot. Now, she talked with This Morning, and apparently they've had conversations. I'm kind of wondering if Ryan Coogler has had conversations with also a David Duchovny. I don't know. We don't know. Like, when it comes to this X-Files reboot, I mean, essentially, I guess it's going to just be a continuation of X-Files. So naturally, everybody's kind of going, okay, is Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny, are they going to be showing up? Is anybody from the old crew going to be showing up? Most likely, yes. Wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, the two mains, but also you got all these side characters as well. But this is what she had to say about the X-Files reboot. I spoke to him, and what I said was, if anyone were to do it, I think you are the perfect person, and best of luck. Call me. Call me. Call me, maybe? Yes. Sounds like Gillian Anderson is just wants to get a little Coogler action. Anyways, okay, maybe not. Just saying. No. So, I don't know. So, it's kind of up in the air of, like, what exactly this X-Files reboot. I don't know. We've talked about it, and William, Sci-Fi Center William, he brought up a good point. X-Files, for the time that it showed up in the early 90s, and it was basically a 90s TV show, before the revival, of course. It was essentially just showed up in the beginning of the 90s and then ended in the 90s. Pretty much the whole run, the whole first run was right there. And then, of course, we get the revival about 10 years plus later. But, it's going to be interesting if you can capture that lightning in a bottle again, because it was perfect for 90s. I mean, obviously, X-Files, what I loved about X-Files was the fact that you have a story about discovering the truth and aliens and government conspiracy. Sure. But in the middle of all that, it was an anthology series where you just had, we had Scully and Mulder just go to some random case and some weird shit, paranormal shit happens. And then that's about it. Then you don't really talk about it. Then it will go back to the initial story where you're seeing the smoking man and aliens and shapeshifters and all this kind of stuff. So, going to be interesting. I don't know. Like I said, Ryan Coogler, I'm all about what Ryan Coogler has to do, especially after seeing Sinners. So, D-Man, you're saying younger duo for X-Files leads with the older duo as mentors. I'm kind of wondering. I'm just wondering how much of a presence are they going to have? Or are they even going to be really a part of it? Are they just going to show up as a cameo in like the first episode? Or are they going to be consistently there? That's the question. That is the question right here. BZRKER, the anime. There's an anime and then there's the books. And then, of course, they're going to turn that into live action there, D-Man. So, live action BZRKER, which I hope that is Keanu Reeves' like new franchise that's just going to like blow up. Hopefully. Because, we all love Keanu Reeves. And, of course, obviously we're getting more John Wick. That John Wick ain't going anywhere, so. All right, let's talk about DC news. Let's talk about certain things. Let's kind of go through whatever's happened in the last couple of days, of course. And, obviously, it's been pretty crazy today. Naturally, it's been pretty crazy. But that's just the way it is. I'm telling you, being a DC fan, it's a roller coaster, baby. I mean, just put your arms up and just go wee. Just go wee like the fucking pig in the Geico commercials or whatever the hell, that insurance commercial where you have the annoying pig. Yeah, wee, wee. I mean, that's basically what you have to do as a DC fan. I mean, it's always been like this, though. Isn't that crazy? It really has always been like this to be a DC fan, because you just want... When you're a DC fan, you want the movies to be successful. You want to like the movies. You want the universe to work. You want something like, you want to see characters together, interacting with each other, fighting with each other. You want to see this villain. You want to see that villain. You want to see a lot. And obviously, what Zack was doing previously was great, but it was a contained story within the universe. He wasn't trying to be Kevin Feige. He wasn't trying to be this, that, or whatever the hell. Of course, that's what they wanted. That's not what he wanted. He wanted to tell a certain story, which worked, 100% worked. But now we got, of course, James Gunn doing what he's doing. But it just seems like it can be rather exhausting sometimes, where you're just going, I mean, obviously, like I said, we're talking about the rumored plot of Superman or whatever, the little plot leak that was going around, and people are just freaking out about it and just kind of going like, and that's why I'm like, because if that has to do with spoilers, why do I want to even talk about it? I don't want to start talking spoilers already. I mean, essentially, we still got over 2 months before the movie comes out. So, I mean, just be careful out there. You're probably going to get the whole, I'm already suspecting I'm going to get, most of the movie spoiled for me. Sadly, but I mean, that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is, especially being in this line of profession, I guess you could say, or the fact that I have this YouTube channel, yeah, naturally, it's just going to be the case. There's nothing you can do about it. We got some new merch. If you want a Superman heavy-duty backpack, you can get one of these right here. That looks pretty cool. And then, of course, another hat. That hat looks like, I don't know, the material on that looks different, obviously, than normal hats. It almost looks like it's made out of denim, but not too shabby. I like a good hat. I like a trucker hat, though. And I don't know if they have a Superman trucker hat. I definitely rock that. And forgot to turn my notifications down. Sorry. That ESPN app notification is so fucking loud, so goddamn loud. And we got Jimmy Guns right here talking about the trailer. When's that next trailer going to be coming out? Everybody's wondering when the trailer's going to be coming out. It didn't come out on Superman Day, but they had the featurette. I don't know why I sounded like an auctioneer right there, but I got, a little too carried away. Anyways, so somebody asked, trailer 2.5 soon? And I like what Gunn actually has to say right here. You haven't even seen trailer 1.0 yet. Only a teaser and a sneak peek. I can't wait to show you guys the trailer. Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible. There's just, Mission Impossible. End of this month, or like, when is it? The third week of this month? I would say Mission Impossible, and then Lilo and Stitch comes out a couple weeks after that, right? That's what I'm thinking. Obviously, Superman Day, we all thought that maybe it was going to be with that. Then we thought, okay, maybe with Thunderbolts, but there hasn't been any word about anything when it comes to Thunderbolts, which, okay, cool. Mission Impossible, that sounds like the best bet right there. Mission Impossible, then, of course, have it attached to Lilo and Stitch, because I have a feeling that Lilo and Stitch is just going to blow up the box office, for sure. It's going to be like Minecraft. Are you serious? Look at this adorable little blue furry motherfucker on the beach. Yeah. So that's what that's where I'd put my money on. 100%. So should have been a red hat. Yeah. Make America Superman again? All right. And then we got this article. Let's see, where's the article? Hey, let's look at this article right here. Okay, so this article came out. This is from ABC News. This article came out today, and it's titled, Meet David Corenswet, Cinema's New Superman. In 2019, David Corenswet gave an interview to Entertainment Weekly, and he said his pie-in-the-sky ambition was to play Superman. David Corenswet, and of course he talked about that. At that point, the role was not on the market, and Corenswet, and Juilliard graduate and Philadelphia native, that's who he is, was just making a name for himself in the industry with plum breakout roles in 2 Ryan Murphy Netflix series, The Politician and Hollywood, tall, dark, and, handsome. People had told him that he looked like Superman, of course, for a long time. He did not. He told the Associated Press in a recent interview think he was going to have a chance to play him. And then, of course, what happens? He does. And this is a quote right here from Mr. Corenswet saying, I said it was a pie-in-the-sky ambition, which I meant to mean that there was no expletive, there's no fucking way, I'm guessing that's what he said, no fucking way it was ever going to happen. I sort of was thinking of it as, who wouldn't love to play an iconic role like that? Wouldn't it be amazing and impossible if we lived in a universe where that could be considered? Right around the time when Gunn was starting to, of course, think about casting, he knew his new Superman movie. He decided to watch his friend Ty West's movie Pearl. In the darkly comedic horror, Corenswet stood out to him as an interesting and charismatic presence. He played a projectionist at a local movie theater who catches Pearl's attention and later faces her wrath, of course. West had nice things to say about him, too. David was one of the very first auditions that I got, Gunn said. Instantly, it was a relief because he had a playful charm about him that was not evident in Pearl. He had a sense of humor. That made me go, ooh, this might be a really good match. And then James Gunn went home and touched himself. Okay. Sorry. That was the beginning of a long casting process. Even Nicholas Hoult, who was ultimately cast as Lex Luthor, was up for the part. And though it was extensive, Corenswet said it was the most satisfying audition processes he has ever gone through, not because he booked the role, but because he felt he got the opportunity to show them what he had to offer. Gunn laughed that Corenswet actually has a lot of Superman in him. Superman is a square, and David is a square. He listens to American songbook like Dean Martin and Cole Porter. That's what he listens to on his iPad. That's weird, but so Superman. Talk about a backhanded compliment from Jimmy Gunn's. God, you're weird, David Corenswet, but that's Superman. Anyways, just kidding. It's not backhanded. I'm just joking. When Gunn called him with the good news, the first person he told was his wife. That's right, ladies. He is taken. He's got a kid, too. The second was his sister, who wouldn't pick up the phone because she was on a golf course. She texted, "Is it possible that was a phone call with super good news?" he said. I said, "Yes, super good news. Even with his sister, he's a cheese ball." It may be something of a Superman tradition to try on your predecessor's costume. Okay, so we've talked about this before, and let's talk about it again. We're talking about Superman costume because obviously the discourse about the costume is always a big thing. And then, of course, there's always the comparison to the Henry Cavill costume, which, of course, is, oh, so good, so good. And then I remember that there was actually fanboys and girls out there that got a little bit of upset because we heard that David Corenswet had to put on Cavill's costume and it ripped. And then, of course, there were people that were saying, the disrespect. I'm like, are you goddamn kidding me? There were numerous costumes. They had one of them, and it was already messed up in the first place. You guys are weird. It was something of a tradition to try on your predecessor's costume during a screen test. Henry Cavill did it with Christopher Reeves, which I guess, if you actually think about it, it should have been Brandon Routh's, right, for Superman Returns? I don't know. And Corenswet did it with Cavill's, which he called a marvel of engineering. That's what I'm talking about. And hey, we got Miss Jackson. Hello, darling. She's gifting out some memberships for you guys. So say thank you to Miss Lisa. Thank you, Miss Lisa. You're awesome. Much appreciated. So welcome Marcus, Tron, Scotty, Meek, and Joshua. You gotta love that. Thank you. Oh, we got one more. I know we got the little notification right here. Oh, I think that was it. Okay, I must have already caught it right there. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. But so Corenswet called it a marvel of engineering. At the first time Corenswet put his own Superman costume on was not some magical transportive moment. In fact, he said it was wonderfully mundane. The suit was still in its beginning stages, not totally put together, and even a little small as he already started putting on weight for the role. We have to remember, he is like our biggest Superman. He's bigger than all the other Supermen. He's taller, and so that makes him, of course, obviously he's going to be bigger. You know, I always said that Cavill had the broader shoulders, but Corenswet is the biggest Superman. I remember the feeling of kind of growing into the suit and the suit growing around me fitting by fitting. We had such an amazing costume team, and they built the suit around me over the course of many weeks and months, and it started to feel just a little like home for me. The first time he felt the impact of it was through the eyes of other people. To him, it was old hats, but when he walked onto set the first time in the suit, he noticed something different from the cast and crew. I saw their faces sort of light up, and I went, wait a minute, these people aren't that fond of me. That's when it hits you. There we go. You guys hear that? One of the fucking smoke detectors just beeped right now, just randomly. I don't know. Again, this place was possessed, apparently. Where was I? That's going to be distracting if that happens again. Then it hits you. So there are almost 3 roles involved in playing Superman. There's the person who is with his parents, the people he grew up with, of course. There's Clark Kent of the Daily Planet, and then there's Superman. Yeah, I would even say the same thing about Batman. There's 3 different roles right there when it comes to Batman. He's a public facing character. He's a symbol. There's a presentational element to it because he does want to present an image of calm and authority. While he doesn't always feel that way, he always wants to make other people feel that way as Superman. To prepare for Clark Kent, Corenswet looked at, of course, All-Star Superman comic and how Christopher Reeve changed his posture when Lois left the room, but he also drew inspiration for the voice and demeanor way outside of the canon. His brother-in-law, who is 6'8", 270 pounds, but is the quietest, most wonderful man. Brother-in-law is even bigger than he is. That's crazy. That's where I sort of took the spirit of Clark. He's this big presence, but he's desperately trying to be small as possible and as quiet as possible. Freaking smoke detectors went off again. I don't even know. This might be bad. I'm not going to get any sleep tonight. Gunn was promised that the film is a personal journey for Superman. This is so crazy. This is so crazy. What is happening? And then it just shut right off. I don't know what's going on. House is haunted. All right, so personal journey for Superman that's entirely new. He's a character who is pretty damn good but flawed. And anyone who has seen the trailer knows there will be romance with Rachel Brosnahan's Lois Lane, but there's even a different spin on that. He's in love with her, Gunn said. She's the one that needs the convincing in the relationship. It's not him. You really see where he needs her in his life. That's good. Corenswet said the addition to the action and thrills, the movie also has a Preston Sturges quality to it with longing romance and witty comedy. Fitting for their reporter characters, his girl Friday was also a big reference with the rhythm, the patter, and the feeling of two people in love who really are an equal match for each other, or for the other, I should say. But yeah, I mean, we can go on, and I mean, that's pretty much it right there. You know, a lot of things. But talking about, of course, the initial, the suit and everything. I mean, obviously, he had to wear the Cavill suit, which I still want to see that costume test of him in the Cavill suit. That should be interesting to see him like that, because we've seen some of the screen tests when it comes to other, like, Batman actors. We saw like Christian Bale wearing the Kilmer Cal. So we've seen kind of like stuff like that. And then of course we saw Cavill in the Christopher Reeve costume. So I do want to see that. It's going to be very interesting. There's a shadow behind me. Change the batteries. Yeah, it's not I don't know I guess it could be the batteries. But usually if there's a low battery and a smoke detector, it just chirps. It just chirps like every 17 seconds, but these are just like going, literally just beeping. Maybe that's what it is, and maybe that's what we got to do, but that's so weird, right? Anyways, all right, so yeah, talking about the costumes, that's cool, and talking about the costume, I should say, good stuff. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. And then of course, brace yourself, guys. Not again. God damn this Jimmy Guns. Why does he keep on doing this? He must be stopped. He posted another image of himself with Mr. Terrific, with Eddie. How dare he do that? Why would he do that? God, it's almost like he thinks he's like the director or something. I don't know. It's weird. Yes, James Gunn, of course, posted this right here, celebrating the anniversary of Mr. Terrific. So naturally, he was going to post a behind-the-scenes image. And it's so funny, too, because you can actually see Corenswet right there, his Superman. You see that freaking lovely cape that he has on his costume. That damn Jimmy Guns, though, always posting himself. How dare he? Man! So there you go. So that was a new image that showed up today. I just feel bad for Eddie because, man, you have to wear that leather jacket and the leather, everything, and it was hot. He had to be outside. I'm sure he's going to talk about how hot it was to film those scenes in Cleveland during summertime when it was humid and blah. Man, I can only imagine what that felt like. Terrible. There you go. That's better, right? That's better. It's just, there he is. It's just Eddie as Mr. Terrific right there. That's it. You don't have the other guy. See, that satisfies people, right? Just crop him out a little bit. Crop him out. All right. So, okay, now let's talk about the big news that happened today. Jesus Christ. This frickin' movie, I tell you. Gotta love this. And then, of course, yeah, naturally, who frickin' wrote this article. Oh, gotta take a little sip of wine with this one, that's for damn sure. Sergeant Rock, that's right. Luca Guadagnino. I always say his name wrong. You know I'm bad with names, I tell you. Just terrible with names. But yeah, Luca. Obviously, we know who Luca is. And we saw him, I think it was CinemaCon. Yes, I believe it was CinemaCon or somewhere. He was actually rocking a DC Studios shirt. So naturally, everybody's going, well, seems like it's actually a lock in that he actually is going to be directing Sergeant Rock. He's going to be directing Sergeant Rock for sure. And then, of course, we heard that Daniel Craig was actually being considered and that he turned it down. And then it was actually said during that Warner Brothers press, whatever, the event that they had where they talked about some of the slate and some of the things that haven't been mentioned, that Daniel Craig was actually never considered, never talked to, never anything. And then, of course, we find out that, Penguin himself, good old Oz Cobb himself, Colin Farrell, was actually in talks to play the lead role of Sergeant Rock. And so then, naturally, we think, okay, cool, interesting, we'll see what happens. But then you hear about scheduling, you hear about a lot of things. It's like, wait, Luca has another movie he's going to be starting, Colin Farrell's busy. How are they actually going to be doing this? Well, and then The Wrap decided to be like, it ain't happening. Luca's DC movie, Sergeant Rock, scrapped. Exclusive. And good old Scoopy Pants Umberto, of course, wrote this right here. Well, there's one less soldier in the DC Studios battlefield. I came up with that myself. Sergeant Rock, to be directed by Luca Guadagnino. I always say his name wrong. Again, sorry. Who, of course, Challengers and Queer collaborator Justin Kuritzkes is no longer moving forward at DC Studios. The Wrap has exclusively learned Colin Farrell, already a part of the DC Comics universe, thanks to his role of the Penguin and blah, 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 was going to be that because he said after Daniel Craig dropped out. Right there, you should already be like, hey, Scoopy Pants. You do realize that James Gunn himself said that there was now talking to Daniel Craig. He didn't drop out. There was no mention. Okay. So you're already kind of fumbled up in your first part of your paragraph there, Scoopy Pants. The issue, one insider noted, came down to scheduling. The film, which would require a lot of exterior shots, needed to start production this summer and wasn't going to make its date. Budget didn't appear to be an issue. It was meant to come in under $70 million. And apparently the number for the budget was actually going to be $65 million, which is a good low budget. DC Studios had no comment. Of course it didn't. Why would they? So there you go. So we already have some indications that, okay, what are we doing here? First off, you're talking about Daniel Craig dropping out, and wasn't it mentioned by him himself, by Jimmy Gunn saying that? But then, of course, people just be like, well, James Gunn's a liar. Well, I guess people can just do that. Sure, maybe. Maybe he was on the short list. Who knows? So we have that right there. So it was just like, okay, doom and gloom and scrapped. Some people were just, I always love the tweets where it's just like, oh, I'm not shocked. I mean, okay. But at the same time, I was like intrigued. I was like going, okay, well, again, $65 million budget. You can have a World War II type of movie where somebody's like hunting Nazis, a crazy character. And then people who go see that, they're not going to know that it's part of the DC universe. And you can have a little bit of connective tissue, just slightly, but other than that, it's going to be like its own thing. And it could capture an audience that doesn't even like comic book movies. Similar to, like what happened with 300 back in 2006. Where it's a comic book. Hey, and then or maybe even The Watchmen, stuff like that. Or Sin City, things like that where it's like, hey, oh, I didn't know this was actually a comic book. When people go see it, they just go see it because there's good word of mouth and everything like that. So then we get this right here because then, we get away from Scoopy Pants over there at the Wrap, and we head over here to Deadline. And not to mention, the Hollywood Reporter was also talking about this too. Different headline: Sergeant Rock halts pre-production, now eyeing summer 2026 production start. What? That means not canceled, but halted. That's interesting. So let's break this down right here. Sergeant Rock, DC superhero flick team, obviously with Luca and Colin Farrell, and apparently it was like said and done. Colin Farrell was actually going to be playing Sergeant Rock. While the film was supposed to enter production in the coming months, we're now told it'll look to shoot next summer. Studio insiders said that ultimately shooting this summer, was untenable, as the team would have had to rush through prep to hit the right weather conditions at the right time. The film is being shot primarily on location in the UK and shooting exteriors in the dead of winter would not have been optimal conditions for cast, crew, and equipment. Sergeant Rock news comes as a shock, as the film was greenlit months ago with a $65 million budget and planned to shoot this August. Sources close to the project say that Guadagnino was scouting locations last week and that the studio was far down the line with Alien Romulus breakout David Johnson, of course, who played the android, I forgot his name in there, to join Farrell, as well as Challenger star Mike Feist, who also had an offer. The Sergeant Rock World War II set superhero actionaire Farrell was set to play Sergeant Rock, Sergeant Franklin John Rock, the character created by Robert Kanier and Joe Kubert, who first debuted in 1959 DC issue R Army at War as a World War II infantry soldier. The character gained stature in 1977 when he got his own comic book series, blah, 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 blah. Sergeant Rock was conceived as part of the DC universe overseen by studio chiefs, blah, blah, blah. We got all that. We already know all that. And yeah, there's not really anything new right here. But apparently, there's going to be some kind of spear, some kind of holy spear. Apparently, like another plot point that was actually going to be happening here. There's like some kind of holy spear that Sergeant Rock and his crew are going after so the Nazis don't get it. It sounds very Indiana Jones, but obviously you're not going to have a guy who has a whip. You're going to have a guy with a gun and a cigarette in his mouth and just be kind of batshit crazy. So, okay. So there you go. Total plot twist. Again, we're just freaking out over whatever. I mean, I saw literally people go, oh, it's over for DC Studios. Because Sergeant Rock might have gotten canceled and it's over. You guys were complaining that Sergeant Rock was a dumb idea. Then it gets canceled and all of a sudden you're going to be saying, oh, it's over for DC Studios. It's over. It's over. But that's the way these guys are. These guys don't think. They're just all about, oh, we got to make sure their whole motivation in life is for Superman to flop. Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange? It really is. It really is strange. I just go, what the hell is going on behind that screen? Because I saw stuff like that. I've also seen people pass around videos of people that basically making up bullshit, a lot of bullshit. I don't know. It's very strange. But you can easily call out the hypocrisy, obviously, because all you have to do is click on the profile and be like, oh, there it is. It's shitting on a bunch of Superman. Oh, you have, Snyderverse stuff in your banner. You have the hashtag. Okay, obviously I know where you're sitting with all this. And of course you want things to crash and burn. You want Warner Brothers to crash and burn, even though they're writing the pirate ship, which is what we wanted when Zack was there. But now that Zack's not there, we just still want them to crash and burn. And a lot of the people aren't there anymore, but you still want it to crash and burn. Yes, because who knows what the hell. All you do is want it to crash and burn. Sure, fine, perfectly okay. I think that a movie like this could do fairly well. Like I said, $65 million budget. Wouldn't need to blow up the box office. Could be something unique, something different. But of course, people always say they want something unique and different, but then don't actually want that. They want to go back to the previous thing. Remember when we were talking about that 10 years ago? Stop talking about Christopher Reeve Superman. Well, now we're here, and then now people are going, stop talking about the Snyderverse. Don't we want new things? No, of course. Now it's like, it's just a weird cycle that we go through when it comes to this stuff. Again, it's all religion for people. And I'd still just go like, why would you want to bring Zack back into this mess? Zack or any of those guys. Why would you want to bring them back into the mess? Not even the mess. It's not really a mess because it seems like they've cleaned up the mess. But why bring them back to the madness? That's what I'm kind of like wondering why. Why would you want to bring them back to the madness, to this? Don't you want them to create their own original stuff? No. It's what I want. It's what I want, Mom. Anyways, sorry. Well, where was I going with this? Well, I don't know. I think I lost my train of thought. No, I was actually going to be touching upon this video right here, this clip that was floating around, because it is kind of funny when you see, again, you see like the way people are reacting to certain things, and then specifically when it comes to that loud portion of the Snyder fandom, and they are all about, I mean, I saw somebody pass around, obviously somebody from Geeks and Gamers, right? Geeks and Gamers they were passing around a clip from Geeks and Gamers, one of the head Geeks and Gamers guys, who was, of course, shitting on the whole, like, plot leak thing and everything, was doing all that, and they were passing around like, oh, look at this. I'm going, do you guys remember the debacle that happened with Zack and Geeks and Gamers? Oh, you forgot, didn't you? Because you don't care. You don't actually care. I was there. I was on that live stream, that charity live stream, before the Snyder Cut came out in 2021. I was on the live stream with Uche, who was hosting it. May he rest in peace. Not knowing about, the label that Geeks and Gamers essentially had. See, to me, I didn't care. But of course, when it came to optics and Zack and everything, apparently it was like a thing. So Zack had to do this awkward thing at the beginning of that stream because something had happened when it came to a massage parlor and something, and the hashtag Stop Asian Hate was like a big thing, and there's a lot of things that were happening. So Zack had to do the thing where he had to basically like call out not hating and not this, that, and this. So then the Geeks and Gamers guys, after that stream, had their post stream, and they were talking all kinds of shit about Zack, but who cares anymore, right, guys? Who cares? It's just kind of funny. But then I saw this video, this clip right here that was floating around, and this, of course, got them upset now, and I'm just kind of going like, what? This is funny. And this is from Chris Gore and some of those guys too, and it was just kind of funny because I saw this and went, oh, this is hilarious.
The way those trailers did. And also I heard this may be breaking, and I told you this, but you did not say this publicly.
Yeah.
From my source.
Yeah. That
From my source regarding Superman. There are jokes that make fun of the Snyder Cut. And yeah, so I don't know if it's making fun of Snyder Bros per se, but there's jokes that make fun of the Snyder Cut.
Oh, they weren't happy about that when I saw that getting passed around. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I thought you liked these guys. Oh, no, you don't all of a sudden, because now you're hearing that there might be jokes about you. This is what's so stupid about this. This is why I'm even talking about this right now. And this is what it gets annoying about all this kind of stuff, because obviously we don't know. Who knows? Do I think that there's actually like jokes about that? No, I actually don't think that. Maybe there's... Because like when it comes to this whole plot leak thing, it just seems like in the context of that, if you're talking about having Superman in the modern world, guess what? You're going to have to show what social media is like. That's what I'm kind of curious about. Yes, I heard about the plot thing, the plot leak, and that people are freaking out about. And then you hear something like this too, because it's funny, because you got that loud part of the fandom that is going, oh, did you hear about the plot leak? Oh my God, hashtag this, oh my God. And then all of a sudden this goes around and they go, how dare you? It's like, well, wait a minute, what are we doing here? I mean, are we making fun of that, or making fun of this? Or can we just welcome it and just watch it and see what the context of all this stuff is? Is that actually going to be a part? Do they actually make fun of this Snyder Cut? Do they make fun of Snyder Cut people? Do they actually do that? Or, when it comes to the context of what that plot leak actually is it totally like a big part of the story, or is it just a portion? What's the context of the scene that it's in? I don't know. How about we just wait? There's an idea. How about we just wait and see what it's all about? But people are just very, they can't. And I just thought that was funny because I'm seeing other bullshit being passed around, and then I see this bullshit being passed around too, And I'm like, they hear from their sources, they hear from these sources, that sources, and blah, 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 blah. Obviously, these guys are, I don't know. I know Chris Gore said that he heard really good things about Superman. I heard that. Now, Nerdrotic, I think he's kind of pushed back against what James Gunn's doing, especially with the plot leak and everything, which is ridiculous. I don't know. I think the rumor may be true. I heard it's meant to be a joke and a troll. Yeah, see? I mean, that's the thing. It's like the context. If the context is jokey and the context works within whatever scene that it's a part of, cool. But people are making it seem like that whole plot leak is like the entire goddamn story. And I'm just kind of going, all right, I got to know the context of all that stuff. And if they do make a joke about Barbie made a joke about the Snyder Cut. And guess who really enjoyed that joke? Zack Snyder. I swear, I hate it when fanboys and girls can't take jokes. When you're part of a group, you're a loud part of the group, and people make jokes, like it's not the first time. First off, be happy that you're actually being acknowledged. I mean, the Snyder fandom has gotten acknowledged in the past few years. Be happy about that. But of course, oh, how dare they? When they make jokes, that's when the big boy pants get put on, and then all of a sudden you're hitting your keyboard even harder than usual. It's like, take a joke. Okay? If there's a joke about that in there, fine. Okay? If there's a joke about just rabid comic book fans in general, or a certain group here, a certain group there, if it's a joke, take the joke. Okay? Don't get all pissy and get all upset about it. It's a joke. Take the joke. Okay, that's pretty much it. I don't think there was anything else, DC. I just wanted to go off on that little spiel. But yeah, Sergeant Rock, not entirely canceled. Just postponed pre-production. I still think it's going to happen. If you have someone like Luca, you have Colin Farrell, you have a $65 million budget you already had ready to go. To me, it just seems like it's just postponed. That's what it feels like to me. I don't think it's actually going to get canceled. And then, of course, people are going to choke on their words again. But again, what do I always say? Anytime that people start really going off on that stuff, like, oh my God, Sergeant Rock's canceled. Oh shit, the DC studios are in peril. Oh my God. But then, of course, when that second article came out that said it wasn't, no acknowledgement. People had no acknowledgement of it. Of course, they just ignore it. They just move on because, oh, that goes against what I was saying. Ugh, terrible. All right, let's talk about some movie trailers. 2 movie trailers in particular that came out recently. So we got 2 movie trailers I wanted to talk about specifically. Yeah, there was one for Now You See Me, Now You Don't, Now You See Me 3. I don't even know if I even saw the second one. I don't even think I saw the second one. I saw the first one and I enjoyed it. I don't think I saw the second one. And I forgot there was a third one, about the magicians that do heists. Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg. So there was that trailer. I was like, okay, cool, there's another one of those. But I did say on Monday's show, because we showed the poster, we did get the trailer for The Smashing Machine starring Dwayne Johnson. And we got good old DJ right here he's trying to go for that acting acknowledgement and maybe even an award or 2.
Probably looking at my eyes.
We're not going to go through the whole thing, but...
Well, have you ever heard of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the UFC?
He's even changed his voice a little bit.
That's the bloody thing they're trying to ban.
This guy is the best he has ever seen.
Do you hate each other when you fight?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But it looks like he's really acting his ass off in this.
Winning is
Of course,
the
there's
best
beautiful
feeling there
blunts.
is. It's 40,000 people.
Yeah.
that
I mean, he
cheering
looks
you on.
just like the dude, which is great.
There's no other high like it in the world. No contract,
Danny
no
said.
money.
No money.
Do you have any stronger pain medication?
Advil?
Advil?
Yeah.
Don, would you like?
No.
They're handing them out like candy. Let's all get in. Everybody get in. Yeah, Don, can you take this picture for us?
Yeah.
What are you thinking of the big tree to crown the Great Coleman?
Have you spoken to either about fighting such a...
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. How much I love that.
Big strong man, I love
Ah, DJ going for it right there. I'm intrigued. It's just kind of funny too because I saw a lot of people say this on the Twitter timeline. It's like you couldn't do the wig and the pointed ears for Black Adam. But you did the makeup prosthetics to make yourself look like that dude, and you got the hair right there. Nah, I mean, I get it. This is something completely different than a comic book character, sure. But I think it's gonna be something pretty good. And I think Dwayne Johnson, he's gonna move into a different era, because you got to remember too, he's also got a movie with Martin Scorsese directing that he's involved with, that he's starring in, with Leonardo DiCaprio. So it seems like good old DJ right here is realizing that, hey, the whole biggest movie star thing, that's not really, that era is kind of done right now. And just doing nothing but action roles and this, that, and this. Plus, he's getting older. But I know he could probably still do action roles well into his 70s or 80s, probably, when the roids wear off. Anyways, no, but I'm just saying, like, it just seems like now he's going, all right, I got to start taking some shit seriously. I went through the ringer when it came to a lot of things in the past few years. So I think it's going to be... it's going to be good, yeah. Rock not playing himself. But then we got this trailer. I mean, you guys know I was excited for this one. And I think some of you were excited too. And that was for Weapons. Of course, the one from Zack.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school.
This trailer is creepy as all hell.
But today was
and
different.
Very well made.
Every other class had all their kids.
Perfect.
But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And you know why? Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
Barbarian.
I don't understand at all. Why just her classroom? Why only hers?
Only her classroom disappeared.
We have a lot of emotional parents here. I think it's best if you keep some distance from this place.
This right here, Jesus Christ, this part of the trailer. Oh my God. Huh?
Matthew, where are you? Where did you go?
What the hell is that? Jeez.
This is where the story really starts.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be looking good, guys. Look at this. I mean, somebody like, what the hell happens? Like, did people just start going crazy? Look at that. Someone is getting like thrown up on, or like a bunch of oil on their face. Like, what is happening here? There's all kinds of weird shit that's happening. And why do the kids, when they leave, when they were going down the street, why are they doing like the whole, like, putting their arms out or something like that? Somebody I remember seeing like on my timeline, they said they had a theory that the kids were actually being, like, their hands were being held by invisible beings. I don't think that's the case. It looks like they're just doing like the wings thing. But that was an interesting theory, It could have been like, that they're just being pulled around or whatever the hell, but... Right? Didn't I look good? Could have gave a warning that it was going to be horror. Okay, sorry. There, God. It's all right. Just, say a couple of Hail Marys and just turn over, put your comforter over your head. You're fine. You're fine. But yeah, those were just some of the trailers that I really want to talk about, because both of those really got me intrigued. Like I said, the Now You See Me 3, whatever, I was like, okay, that's cool. But I'm more like intrigued by these right here as opposed to the third one of those. Definitely looking forward to Weapons. Because like I said, it's supposed to possibly take place in the same universe as Barbarian. And Barbarian was absolutely batshit crazy. Yeah, you're right, man. Dell, I mean, fuck. Warner Brothers is cooking. Warner Brothers is cooking this year. They're cooking with fucking butter. Even if they had one flop. Okay. Who's seen Thunderbolts this weekend? Obviously, everybody, right? Most people, at least. I don't know. Thunderbolts, I think it's going to be a hit for sure. It's definitely not going to be huge. I think it has potential to be better than Captain America for a New World. Seems like a lot of people are enjoying it. And I'm definitely going to be seeing it. So look forward to my first reaction review tomorrow. I think I'm going to be seeing it about 5 o'clock my time. But let's see what the critics have to say. To the Devil Fruit site we go. Currently sits at an 89% with 149 reviews, assembling a ragtag band of underdogs with Florence Pew 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 as their magnetic standout. Thunderbolts refreshingly returns to the tried and true blueprint of MCU's best adventures. Back to the basics. So it's Thunderbolts, back to the basics. But yeah, a lot of good reviews. A lot of good reviews right here. Pretty crazy. All right, let's start off right here. Thunderbolts feels like a return to the early days of the MCU, and it's proof that one can be achieved when a movie remembers to put the characters first. The Oscar-nominated Little Women star never phones in withdrawn, self-deprecating behaviors brought on by emotional distress. Scenes opposite David Harbour's Turbo Man with a cartoonish Russian accent, the Red Guardian, define weary roles. Thunderbolts has some outstanding fight choreography and scenes, a solid story, and a fun new team added to the MCU. This movie will be very rewatchable and better than the last entry, Captain America: Brave New World. What did I say, guys? As Marvel movies go, this one entertains and isn't afraid to be corny when it needs to be. What do I mean? When was the last time a Marvel movie resolved a major problem with a group hug? It happens here. Spoiler alert. The Thunderbolts are a flawed group, but they are making audiences care about the MCU again, myself included. Thunderbolts engages, entertains, and it even touches, but almost always barely on surface level. Thunderbolts could breathe new life into the Marvel franchise thanks to a story in which human weakness emerges as an unexpected superpower. While by far not among the best of the series, the movie nevertheless proves watchable and fun for the most part. All right, let's read that one bad review right here from Mr. Nick Johnston. It's just abbreviated group therapy clad in faux Kevlar spandex. A recitation. I can't even say the word. A recitation of traumas without the added benefit of free coffee and powdered donuts. Can't even talk. So there you go. It's looking pretty good. Right now it's still tracking at $80 million domestic. So I don't know if it's going to exceed that. It might. We'll see. But, for the most part, it seems people are entertained. I just love the fact, you know what I love the most about what I was seeing when it came to the reviews and reactions online? I love it when there was like, the MCU's back. The MCU's back. And I'm going like, hey, Film Junkee, Dave, over here. I'm going to be that asshole. You guys said the same thing last year with Deadpool and Wolverine. Can you stop saying the MCU is back? Okay? Can you stop doing that? I thought they came back when it came to Deadpool and Wolverine. You know that movie that made $1 billion last year? I figured it was back with that. Then it left again because of Cap? I mean, what? So now it's back again? What are we doing? Tell me. Just like you know what's going to happen after Superman comes out? You know you're going to get those assholes that best DC movie since The Dark Knight. Yeah, same shit. Why do people just say this? Just recycle the same stuff, man. Ugh. It's frustrating. You know what's going to happen. You know you're going to hear the whole best fucking DC movie since The Dark Knight. When it comes to Superman, you know it's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. Gotta love it though, right? 2025, we are now a third into 2025, and now the summer blockbuster season is going to be starting tomorrow with Thunderbolts. So I figured, hey, why not rank the movies that I've seen? I've been actually pretty damn consistent on seeing. Now, I haven't seen all the movies, obviously, which sucks. I wish I could. Sometimes I just can't see multiple movies in a week just because, busy, work, doing this, a lot of things. So I didn't get to see every movie that's come out that I wanted to see, but with the movies that I have seen, I've been pretty consistent on seeing a movie at least once a week. And I wanted to give like my top 5 rankings, my favorite ones so far of 2025. And you can even tell me your list, provide it in the chat, provide it down below if you're watching this later. Why not? What are some of your movies right here? And so I'm going to bring up my little list right here because it wasn't easy. I mean, obviously, I could pick out the ones I didn't enjoy. Looking at you, Rachel. All right. But I would say right here, when it comes to going from 5 to number 1, and again, it was difficult. It was difficult because I was looking. I was like, okay, but which ones really just, when I walked out, I went, wow, that movie. And number 5, for me, when it comes to, whoa, that movie, and a lot of people should see it because now you can watch it at home. And I highly suggest you watch it at home because it's a really good spy type of sexy little thriller movie. And that is Black Bag. Do yourself a favor. Watch that. That is my number 5 in my current third of 2025, currently right now, favorite movie. Number 4. Really enjoyed this movie. Super entertaining. And of course, falling for, what's her name? Sophie Thatcher. Companion. Great movie if you like sci-fi, crazy, weird movies, funny. Watch Companion, like Black Mirror-esque episode. Something like that. Number 3 for me, Warfare. That movie, when the shit went down, I didn't want to leave my seat. I clenched. That movie was shot extremely well. It was very intense. I love Alex Garland, who co-directed the movie with an actual war vet. Go check that out. Number 2, The Accountant 2. That was the one I saw last week. What did I say about The Accountant 2? It is the most entertaining movie of the year. Most entertaining movie. So far, I was the most entertained by that movie. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait to watch it again. And then, of course, number 1, I think you can guess what it is. It's the vampire movie that everybody's loving because there's just something about that damn movie. Sinners. I don't know what it is. There's just something about that movie. I think it's just because somebody took the vampire genre, the vampire premise. We know about vampires, and we know we've seen so many movies about vampires. It's been around for so long. Nosferatu, the original, been around so long. And of course, Dracula and all the things. So when you have somebody that comes in here and just injects new life into it, and shoots the movie extremely well. It's acted very well. The scenes play out well. Everything just is crafted just so perfectly, I guess you could say. It's hard not to love that movie, and I can't wait to watch it again. That soundtrack, the music, some of the concepts that are within it, the storytelling, even the bad guys or the bad vampires are very intriguing. There's a lot of culture all throughout that movie. I mean, it's just Ryan Coogler just did something special with that movie, and there's a reason why that movie is getting such good word of mouth because it's fucking good. So there you go. There's mine right there. So yeah, I don't know. Well, I only saw Warfare and Accountant 2, so it's kind of yeah. I didn't watch until Dawn. Like I said, I didn't. Yeah, I do want to catch up on that. But that right now, I mean, trust me, I was like trying to fit Mickey 17 in there somewhere. I liked Working Man. I liked Den of Thieves 2. I even liked Wolfman, but not enough, But those are the top 5. Like when I was thinking about it yesterday and today, I was like, you know what? That's how I'm going to rank. I mean, Sinners was it was hard to beat Sinners, but yeah, The Accountant 2 was just so goddamn entertaining. It was just so entertaining. But we still got plenty more of 2025. So I think I'm going to do this after the summer blockbuster season. After August, I'm going to do that again. I'll probably do a ranking of the summer blockbuster season, I'll do my ranking with that, and then maybe I'll do another ranking of like, all right, how am I feeling now? Is Sinners going to remain my top movie? Because you guys know I've been saying it since last year. My most anticipated movie this year is Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. So we'll see if it. And that's the thing. One of the biggest things too about Sinners that I love so much is the fact that it is an original movie. Counts 2 is a sequel, fine. Warfare, original movie. Companion, original movie. Black Bag, original movie. Original movies. That's what we want. Right? All right. That's pretty much it when it comes to topics. Am I missing anything out there? Something, what are we doing? Anything? Probably not. All right. Probably nothing new. All right, let's go over to Twitter. Actually, you know what? I'm kind of curious. Am I seeing there's something? Oh, there. Don't listen to me. I was like, sometimes I'm like, oh wait, isn't there? Yeah, because I can't see. I was just wondering if there was anybody like, because I'm streaming on Twitter and I never can see the chat right here. So, yeah, I'm gonna watch 28 Years Later. That's one of my anticipated movies of the year too. Very curious to see what happens there. All right, let's go over to Twitter and see what you guys are asking. Starting off with Mr. Eric Blake. Hey, Dave, there was a recent interview with the Netflix head where he was going, movie theaters, who needs them? People just want to watch movies at home now. Sure, dude, if you don't get any special Rebel Moon director's cut release like Revenge of the Sith recently got, yeah. Yeah, no, I talked about that on Monday's show. I talked about good old Teddy Sands. Teddy Sarandos. That dumbass. And I love the fact that people are proving him wrong, that people are actually flocking to the movie theater. Mr. Nobody, I think Sergeant Rock might come up in a team-up project. Thoughts? I mean, he very well could. I mean, he was already shown off in Creature Commandos, so there could be something there. Devin Wooter, hi Dave, I really like your top 5 movies list. When your list movies you think James Gunn, okay. Movies you think James Gunn shooting a new DC movie and start filming next year to take place Sergeant Rock, like Batman Brave and the Bold, and what's your favorite stunts from Mission Impossible movies? Well, I think like, him hanging from a plane, him doing this, him doing that. I mean, Tom Cruise just can't do no wrong. I like the one where he's like hanging off the plane in Rogue Nation in the beginning. That was pretty cool, but that's also a good stunt right there where he broke his leg. Painful. Darkest Son of the Wind, Dave, if Darkseid is going to be a big bad in the DCU, when should he be introduced? Yeah, they should really take their time. They should really take their time. And then Jamin Watson. So the internet is was not expecting that. Yeah, pretty much. That's the way the internet's been. And hey, we got Shemagic out here. What's happening, brother? Good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in the chat in a little bit, but seeing your videos, of course, on my Instagram feed. Everybody follows Shemagic right here. Does great up-close magic, card tricks, and whatnot. And if you like some good card tricks, those are always fun. I hate it, though, when I get like on my feeds, sometimes I'll get like the ones where like they reveal the card trick because I don't want to know the revealing. I like to figure like the card tricks out myself, but then I can't help but watch them because I want to see how the card trick was, or the whatever trick was performed, how it was done. There's so much of that, but luckily I think people still appreciate some up close magic. So good to see you, Shemagic. Always great to see you, bud. So that's Tom breaking his ankle. Yeah, that's when he broke his ankle in Fallout. So, but yeah. So, all right, there you go, guys. That's the show for today. That is the show. And like I said, members, if you're a member, we'll do a members only stream after this. You guys can pick my brain a little bit, get a little bit more intimate. Like I said, no DC Fanimated stream tonight. And when Scott and I resume doing DC Fanimated, I forgot what the episode is called, but it's the one that's next after the one we just watched, which I can't remember what that one was called either, because, it's probably because of this, I don't know. That damn wine, No, but we'll be we'll be watching a Batman Beyond episode. So, all right, guys, hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You know, if you're watching this later, hey, comment down below, share, do all the things. Love you guys. And members, I'll see you guys in a little bit. And everybody else, look forward to my first reaction review of Thunderbolts. And then, of course, I'll see you guys on Friday, which, of course, we'll be diving into Thunderbolts with the panel on the vodka stream. Spoilers, so make sure you watch it. All right, guys, love ya, and I'll talk to you later.